So it was another interesting week in the title race in National One, with the in-form Plymouth Albion having their say in the promotion battle. Now, last week, you may have seen Albion's social media post, which described this month as March Madness, with Ryan Lamb's side facing all of the current top four teams. And in addition to this, Plymouth entered round 20 on an 8-game winning run, and they arrived at fourth placed Rams full of confidence, and they were able to extend that winning run to 9 matches after a brilliant 47-33 victory at Old Bath Road. 3 second-half tries and 12 points from the boot of Tom Putt, steering Plymouth to this win, and it leaves Albion in 5th place and 12 points off the top with 6 games to go in their season. But as we said, after defeating Rams, Plymouth now have to play the current top 3 sides before the end of March. But those teams above them all have to play one another between now and the end of the season. So in a nutshell, the teams in this top 5 have some sizable games coming up in the towards the conclusion of this thrilling National One campaign. So some really exciting fixtures to look forward to over the next few weeks. And Rams' press officer, Rich Ashton, actually spoke to Plymouth's man of the match, Jack Alton, after Saturday's win. And Jack didn't shy away from the fact that he did say that Albion believe they can still win this league despite the 12-point gap that currently separates them and leaders Richmond. So Plymouth Albion banging form and can still have a say in this title race. But the long and short of it is, as you can see, Richmond are still in pole position after they came back from 14-0 down against 9th place Bishop Stortford last week to win 38-21 at the Rag, with 3 tries in the opening 11 minutes of the second half, turning the tide for Richmond in that one. 4 straight wins now for Rob Powell's troops, but it is 7 straight wins for second place Rotherham Titans, who are now 3 points behind Richmond following a hard-fought 28-27 success over 8th placed Birmingham Moseley. A really nice line in the match report of David Beddoes, who writes for the Rotherham Advertiser on Saturday, as he spoke to Titans' Harry Gilson-Fox, who said Director of Rugby Harvey Billion has a saying, which is winners find a way to win, and the Rotherham are doing just that at the moment, because despite some significant injuries in their forwards, a strong first half showing and then the resilient second period saw the Titans eke out this win over Birmingham Moseley. And even though they failed to collect a bonus point once again, they are still on the heels of Richmond, with some key fixtures to come between now and the end of the month. Just quickly, as you can see, Rosslyn Park are up to 3rd after a gritty 21-19 win over struggling Leicester Lions last time out, and a 7th defeat from their last 10 games for Rams means they are now down to 4th and sit level on points with Rosslyn Park and Plymouth Albion. So that is the state of play in the top half of National One, with 6 games to go in the season. Into the bottom half, though, where the bottom 2 sides did collect bonus points in defeat in round 20. A losing bonus for Leicester Lions at Rosslyn Park, while Darlington Moden Park did lead twice at home against 11th place Dings Crusaders, who also had a player sent off on 51 minutes. But in the end, DMP fell to a 31-24 defeat and had to settle for 2 bonus points, meaning the outcome of that means they could be relegated this Saturday if results go against them. And the action in National One in round 21 begins on Friday night, with league leaders Richmond travelling to Birmingham Moseley, and it's host Birmingham Moseley, who are our first feature club of the week on the National League Rugby preview show. Now, Moseley dropped into the bottom half of the standings last week after that narrow win narrow defeat, sorry, away at Rotherham. And they Moseley still have a game in hand to come as well. But after a very solid start to the campaign, following a fifth place finish last season, injuries and fixture disruption certainly haven't helped any consistency for Birmingham Moseley, who after 8 wins from the first 12 games have only won twice since the turn of the year. But one of those victories was quite significant as it came against fourth place Rams in their last home game, where they produced arguably their best performance of the season to record a 19-0 win at Billesley Common. So Birmingham Moseley will be wanting to replicate that again under the Friday night lights against Richmond and against another title contender. So in the lead up to this one on Friday evening, we caught up with Birmingham Moseley Director of Rugby, Adam Balding. Of course, we're looking ahead to what should be a brilliant occasion on Friday night at Billesley Common with Birmingham Moseley kicking off the National one weekend against league leaders Richmond. But kind of before we go into that, just maybe your thoughts and reflections on last time out for Birmingham Moseley. Adam, another kind of narrow, tight game for the club this season, but very difficult place to go in Rotherham Titans. So what can you take from that tight encounter going into Friday night against another top 4 team?
I think the lads played really well going into the Rotherham, within the Rotherham game itself. I thought, to lose by a point is always difficult to take, but reality is, it could have gone either way. It was three tries apiece, came down to 1 point. We had our chances to win the game, as did they, and obviously they did win by a point. But to go there and push them the way we did, I think shows the calibre and the quality that we've got within the group. And the fact is, whether we like it or not, we're still navigating through some significant injuries that we've had to deal with for the best part of the season. And the lads that have been at the helm week in, week out since for the last foreseeable games actually are doing a fantastic job. We pride ourselves with how we pitch up, and I thought, to the man, the lads should be proud of what they did. And obviously we've got Richmond this week, who are top of the table, and it doesn't get any easier. But we're back at home under the lights, and Friday night lights at Moseley is a special place to be. And hopefully we get a load of support. People come down to watch the game and start the weekend, on the right foot. And more importantly, we just want to see the boys go out and perform. The lads work really hard. We ask a lot of our players, just like I'm sure the National League clubs do the same. And we squeeze them for everything we can get, and they're a great group. Just like the coaching group, they do a fantastic job, and I'm very grateful for all the hard work that they all put in. Ultimately, sometimes you don't get the just reward for the effort, but it's like with anything. You have to put the effort in, and then the success comes off the back of it. So look, we've got 7 games to make sure that we leave our mark on the season. Since Sedgley Park away, we've had some significant results and performances, and all we can do is keep building on that. And we've got lads coming back from injury. We've got lads coming, finding some really good form within the group itself. So competition for places is high, and all we can do is finish the season on the best foot forward, and ultimately see where it takes us.
You mentioned kind of significant results and performances, and not least the last home game, if I'm right in saying, Adam, against Rams. Obviously, the weather and the elements weren't great that day, but the performance.
Yeah, it was a lovely dry day at Billesley Common.
Well, all you need. I do not. It was sunny.
I had to water the pitch. No. I mean, look, that was a great day. And all credit to Rams. They performed well, but I think we just played. We hit our straps. The players got their act together, and I think we showcased exactly what we can do. And again, another quality side who are proven year on year. They're always up there at the top, and they were a great side. And to get that win at home was superb. And I thought the attitude going into that game was absolutely superb. It's all the uncoachable elements that you have to package up on a Saturday afternoon that you can't coach, and we're big on that. And fundamentally, lads getting it right, getting their own detail right going into the game, which is most important. And we won't need to be motivated to play Richmond because they're top of the table. So for us, this is a massive clash. If we can't be motivated for this game and go out, perform and deliver a performance that we can be proud of, we shouldn't be taking the field. And I know full well that the lads will go and do their best. And to a man, they'll make sure that we will empty the tank, and whoever comes out on top will come out on top. But it won't be through us not performing. I think that's the most important thing. And as I said, we'll see where we're at post game.
And in a weird way, Adam, I mean, last season you kind of had narrow defeat, sorry, but you were still able to climb the table and have the season that you had. But even with the injuries you've had this year, even with kind of the disruption in the fixtures, how much can you take from some of those narrow defeats you've had against, your Rotherham Titans, who sit second in the league, the narrow win that you had against Roslyn Park, who sit third in the league, the win against Rams? It shows that Birmingham Moseley are capable of challenging in the higher echelons of this league, isn't it? Despite having maybe some key players missing during the campaign.
Yeah, look, I think what it does, it highlights, well, it provides opportunity. It provides opportunity for those younger lads to come in, and we've found some real gems this year with some young lads stepping in and playing, week in and week out, and it shows that not only are they capable for National League Rugby, but potentially higher at some point as well. So, I think it's a bit of a discovery mission, and we've been pleasantly surprised, and obviously, as I said, we're now seeing those more experienced players return. So it's going to make for a real interesting final running for us, because we should have a lot more players to select from, and competition is paramount, because that breeds performance. And when everyone's competing for the same spot, you tend to find that extra couple of percent that you're looking for. But look, ultimately, as I said, they're a great. We've got a great group, and I'm really happy with everything that they do. But you're absolutely right. On any given day, probably would be a little bit higher up the league. But I'm not making excuses. This is probably the most fiercely contested season that we've seen. There's one of like four teams that are, well, one of five teams that are firmly in the mix. Plymouth, Rams and Roslyn Park are still firmly there. It's up to Rotherham and Richmond to keep winning. And the fact that it's so closely contested at that top end of the table shows the quality within National League One, which is credit to all the other teams, the coaches, and everything else that goes in behind the scenes.
And just on Richmond, it probably overlaps into some of the answers you've already given, Adam, in terms of the quality of National One. Obviously, you guys kick off the National One weekend against them this weekend. I know there's another big game on Saturday with Plymouth Albion taking on Rotherham as well. But what have you kind of have made of Richmond this year? They were pretty inconsistent last year, and they said it themselves at the start of the year, but they are the league leaders at the moment, and they seem to be clicking back into gear at just the right time themselves.
I'd say they're the best team in the league in terms of consistency and how they perform. I think the way that they perform both sides of the board is very consistent and also quite pragmatic. They don't make many mistakes. And they certainly apply pressure all over the pitch. So we know that it's going to be a massive challenge on Friday, but we know that when we get it right, we can squeeze teams as well, and it'll make for an interesting contest. And I might have to go 5 forwards on the bench to see what we can do, but I'm only joking. I'm only joking. No, but all seriousness, Rotherham, Richmond have been quality all year, and they're a good side. But ultimately, as I said, anybody can beat anybody, and we're at home, and we'll back ourselves against anybody playing at home, and it should make for a good night on Friday.
And just a couple more from me, Adam, just in terms of the wider picture. Of course, you'll be focused on kind of the end of the season, ending it as strongly as you can. But in terms of the aspirations of Birmingham Moseley going forward, I'm sure you would love to have built on last season and some things that haven't fallen your way this year. But is this a club that wants to be challenging towards those top 4 places, those top spots in the years to come, in the not too distant future, should I say?
Of course. I mean, look, there's still 7 games left. There's no reason why we still can't finish 4th or 5th. The destiny is in our hands. Birmingham Moseley, like any other club in National One, I think the big word is sustainable. We've all got to become sustainable, both financially and from an infrastructure point of view. And I think that's at the forefront of most National League clubs in terms of their strategy and the direction they want to move in. But to answer your question, Moseley is steeped in history. It's a club which wants to get to the very top, as high as we can possibly go. And we'll do everything we can to get there. But ultimately, you got to navigate through 26 games to a season, which is a very challenging season. And as we've found this year, there's always things out of your control. But I don't see this season as a disappointment. I see it as a bit of a learn. There's been a few blips, but there's been lots of good. And we judge ourselves every 26 games, not just a handful. And as I said, I'm really proud of how the players and the staff all work so hard behind the scenes, and sometimes we don't get it right, but hopefully on Friday we do, and it makes for a good contest.
Birmingham Moseley is such a pillar of the community as well. So if you are at a loose end on Friday night, you are finishing work, it's a brilliant way to kickstart your rugby weekend.
100%.
A packed weekend of rugby, 7:45 kickoff, Birmingham Moseley versus Richmond. And it's also a big weekend as well for the Colts side, Adam, just to finish off as well. So hopefully a win on Friday and a win at the weekend as well.
Yeah, the lads are in the semi-finals of the North Mids Cup against Camp Hill. So just want to wish the Colts all the very best for that game, and hopefully, if anyone's at a loose end, get down and support them. We've got the women playing over at Bridge North in what is a big game as well. So we want to wish the women all the best, and hopefully we have a good weekend in Birmingham Moseley right across all different sections, which would be great to see.
So a big thanks to Adam for his time when we spoke on Tuesday evening. It should be a brilliant occasion and a brilliant weekend for Birmingham Moseley. And of course, the icing on the cake would be a winning weekend beginning with Friday night against Richmond for the first 15. It is a 7:45 p.m. kickoff at Billesley Common. And do visit Birmingham Moseley's Instagram account, their website, and the rest of their social media channels as well for all the ticket details for Friday night, because there are various options for you to choose from. Last time Birmingham Moseley met Richmond in the Midlands, it was a last-minute penalty try that won it for Moseley, 31-29. So those heading to Billesley Common on Friday will be hoping for more of the same, as it is a brilliant weekend to kick off a packed weekend of a brilliant way, to kick off a packed weekend of rugby, especially in National One. And those followers of National One might be wondering why we haven't highlighted Plymouth Albion's mouth-watering meeting with Rotherham Titans yet, but now we are, because the Yorkshire outfit do travel to Brickfields in round 21, and they will know how Richmond have fared the night before as they look to continue hunting down their title rivals, while, as we said, Plymouth Albion will look to rock the promotion boat again as they seek a 10th successive victory. So it should be an absolute corker down in Devon on Saturday. Meanwhile, third place Roslyn Park travel to Bishop Stortford. And while we talk about Plymouth having a say in this promotion race, why can't Kieran Power's side swoop in under the radar? They are targeting a 7th win from their last 8 games on Saturday, but Stortford did cause Richmond problems last time out, so it won't be straightforward at Silver Lays. 4th place Rams will be looking to overcome their recent difficulties when they visit 10th place Sedgley Park, but that is easier said than done. The Tigers were excellent in defeat at Plymouth Albion in round 19 and took those positives into an away 25-22 victory at 6th place Blackheath last weekend, so spirits will be high at Park Lane when Rams visit the Northwest on Saturday. Just below Sedge in the table, the bottom 4 sides are in action against one another on what feels like a key weekend in National 1, with 12th placed Esher visiting Dings Crusaders, while 13th placed Leicester Lions host bottom of the table Darlington Moden Park. You get the sense that it is a big couple of weeks for the Lions, who also travel to Esher next Saturday. So Gareth Collins' side are to pull off another escape from relegation this term. Victory against Darlington Moden Park will be crucial to that. But do remember, DMP's only win this term did come against Leicester Lions back in November. So a fair bit on the line in the Midlands. And finally, Sale FC, who celebrated Jonathan Keep's 350th game in charge last week with a 37-21 win away at Esher. They are back at Hayward Road in round 21 to take on Blackheath.